Yes, yes. Good to have you on the call. You wear so many hats. And everyone on this call, you guys are just awesome in my eyes. And who was that in the background? Was that Darlene?
Deborah from Tacoma.
Oh, Deborah. Hey, Deborah, how are you? Great to have
I'm
you on the call.
Thank you. I'm wonderful. And thank you for being in my head all the time, Brenda.
Oh, I'm
My
happy that I'm
God.
there and I'm glad it's in a positive way. Yeah.
It is, it is, it is. Thank you.
Oh,
Okay, bye.
I love hearing that. Welcome to the call. Love hearing that because that's my goal. You know, if I can get some positive thoughts in our heads and say what's in my heart, which truly is in my heart, because when I say leaders, you guys are all leaders. You're all geniuses. You guys are all masterminds. You know, you can pull out all kind of positive names to call our team, and that's what we are. And that's what I truly, truly believe. So welcome everyone to our Thursday leadership call. This is a call where we get to express what's going on. We get to share what's happening with our business. We get to ask questions. We get to be involved. We have shown up so we can go up. And I'm so excited that everyone is here. So many great things are happening in our lives. I got to speak to my cousin this morning. Today was her birthday, and I shared some good news with her. She was so excited. And it's so lovely how things just get better and better and better. And all we have to do is continue to do what we do, which is communicating with each other, lifting each other up, making sure we speak to ourselves on the positive note. I was listening to a motivational speaker the other day, and that's what we do. I mean, we literally go through and see who do we want to hear, what do we want to hear them say. I listened to Oprah's whole hour, which I had heard before, and it's all and Steve Harvey, Rick listens to him, and he's such a big dreamer, you know. And Rick was telling me this morning because I was dreaming about some stuff, and I can dream. Now, I can paint a picture. I can paint a picture of what I want. You can close your eyes and you can literally see it happening because I love to dream. It is a way to escape. It is a way to think in the future of what you want to happen and how you want it to happen. And I love dreaming. And so he said, babe, did you write it down? Did you write it down? When you write it down, then it's a contract. I was like, oh, yeah, that's right. I need to write it down. So I'm going to do that today. I'm going to sit down. There's some more newer goals and dreams that have come about that I want to see happen. And I'm going to do it. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to make it a contract. I'm going to sign it to myself because it can come to pass. All we have to do is believe it and start taking the first step. See, when we dream about, let's say a car, for example, let's say you dream about this certain car. I'll really quick tell you about my son. My son loves Range Rover. Range Rover. That's his dream car. But he found a Volkswagen, I think it's a Volkswagen Ultima 2024 that has everything on the inside that he wants for, I don't know, 60 grand, something like that. For him to get all of this stuff in a Range Rover, it would take that Range Rover up to 110, 120 grand because of the name. So what he decided to do is go with this vehicle that has everything, and we're talking heated seats, heated steering wheel, wireless charger, Apple Play, you know, all the little bells and whistles. What they call the sky sunroof, you know, where the sunroof literally goes from the top of the SUV all the way to the back. And so all the bells and whistles on the inside of the car is what he wanted. But the exterior is not what he wanted, but all the bells and whistles on the inside. And so he said, Mom, I'm more on the inside of my car than I am on the outside looking at it. And he said, and another 50 grand for a name, I think I'll go with what I really want. So he got what he really want as far as the bells and whistles. So what you want to do is you want to get what you want. You want to write it down. You want to make it plain. And that's what was so beautiful about our Surge 365 business. You can get whatever you want in this business. I got a notification the other day from Trasmanity, which is our travel side of the business, that someone booked an airline flight on my blrtravel.com. And so I thought, wow, that's exciting. I like that. I want to see 5 to 10 of those a day with people booking on my Travmanity website. I do not have to do anything but get it out there so people can see. And I'm going to have 5 to 10 people booking airlines, hotels, car rentals on my Travmanity site. And I will earn my Comma Club status. You know, you get your Comma Club check. That means you get a check with a comma in it with Travmanity. It's happened for us in Surge. I want it to happen for me in Travmanity. So you write those things down. You see it coming. You see your picture up there with them advertising the fact that you got your comma check. And you can get your comma check. You don't even have to book a bunch of group cruises. You don't have to book anything. Just have people go directly to your website. So it's so many things that can happen in our business that can bring it to pass, whatever your goals and your dreams are. You just have to write it down, make it plain. And so that's something that I know I'm going to have to definitely do, because we know to do these things, just like we know to speak positive to ourselves. I was listening to this one motivational speaker, and she was talking about how we lie to ourselves when we speak. And for example, she gave the cake, and of course, this was the one analogy that I'm going to remember, right? She says, you see a chocolate cake on the table, and you say, man, I just look at cake and I gain weight. Well, you know that's not true. So instead of saying to yourself, you look at cake and you gain weight, why don't say, I look at cake and my metabolic rate stopped moving so fast, weight drops off of me. That's not true either. But that's a better statement, you know, than saying you gain versus you lose. So, and she gave a lot of great analogies, and it was really good listening to her. I had listened to her before, and when she popped up on YouTube, I went, oh yeah, that's right, I like her. I like the tone of her voice. I like how soft she speaks. So I was listening to her, and that's what she said. And of course, she gave a lot of different analogies on how we speak to ourselves, and we lie to ourselves in the negative. Why not lie to yourself in the positive? And I thought, well, I lie, but I understand what she was saying and the reason why she was saying it, because we determine what happens in our brain. And we can go back to Caroline Leaf. And I know if you guys haven't listened to Caroline Leaf in a while, definitely listen to her, because your brain has no idea if what you're saying is true or not. It just takes in what you say. So whatever you say, your mind, your brain is absorbing it, and therefore it's happening. So why not say the positive things to yourself? Why not say, I love working out. Every time I work out, I lose a couple pounds, as opposed to, I do not like working out. Oh, goodness. Does somebody want to say something?
Oh, certainly. Hi, Brenda. It's Ron. Hello, everybody.
Hey.
It's beautiful in Buffalo
Hi, Ron.
today. I'd like to remind everyone, there's this one little scripture. It says, as a man thinketh, so is he. You know what?
Yes.
That's a reminder all the time. And I have a friend, his name is Dr. Shad Hemstettler. He's an author. He's a psychologist. He's one of the world-renowned doctors that knows about how the brain works. And he says, what you say is what you get. He wrote a book that, what do you say when you talk to yourself? It's a great book, by the way. We used it as a recommended book on our list from the Hope Collection years ago. Joel Griffin always recommended it. And I'm just saying that what you're saying, Brenda, is we are in charge. We decide by what we say, what we think. And we can be I love this program, by the way, on Thursday. It's like, it's not midweek, but it's really, you know, at this time of the week, we read that next shot of excitement. And I'm just so happy every week. I look forward to this call. And Linda's got another call that came in that she needed to be on today for some health information. So she's here, but she's on another call right now. So we split it up, and she'll be on probably before we're all done. But I want to say hello to everybody. It's such an exciting week. And you're right, Brenda, exciting things are happening.
Yes, it really is. And if we realize how powerful our mind is, how powerful our brain is, how the law of attraction works. You know, when you buy a car and you turn around and it seems like everybody has the same car. No, the cars have always been there. It's just that now that's what you're thinking about constantly. You're enjoying what you have. Or if you're looking at something, then that's all you're going to see. So that's true also. But I just wanted to share that a little bit. And I know I'm looking at the time here because I want to make sure everybody shares, everybody speaks. So I want Rick to share with us what he wanted to share earlier. Rick, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
As a man thinketh. Wow. Everything comes back to the word, huh? Thanks for sharing that, Ron. What you say is what you get. And, you know, a question comes down, of course, what are we saying? Because what we say is what we get. And what do you have? And when you realize that what you have is what you said. Now, the cool thing about that is you can change what you're saying to get what you really want. Because what you have is what you said in past tense. So you can change what you are going to be saying for the future, and immediately the command goes out. And like you said, Brenda, you gotta write it down. If writing it down makes it a contract. If you don't write it down, it stays in the netherland, you know, the wish land. But when you write it down, you know, things start getting into motion. People start showing up. Situations start happening. If you need money, money starts coming. Everything starts to align when you write it down. And so Brenda was talking about this home that we're going to build on her land down in Charleston that opens up, you know, to the water, and it's kind of a marsh that opens up to the water. And so we're going to build a home on it. And on the dry part of the land, and she wants to have a yacht out there and a small boat. And was it my son that said, "You can't swim"? And she said, "Well, I'll make sure that I've got people that know how to operate a boat and that love me."
No, I said I will make sure people who are on that boat love me enough to keep me from drowning.
And by the way, that's my
And
job.
he is definitely one of them.
Anytime I get near water, that's my job. I know this. And I have jumped into action many times I won't go into. And we're still talking now, so of course I've been successful. But as a person thinks, so are they. And you know, you were starting off in how powerful the mind is. Anything that we want is right there. Everything that we want is right there. If we but believe. You know, I posted a statement there about imagination. The imagination is the substance of things hoped for. Imagine your real life is in your imagination. Imagination is the evidence of things not seen that God has shown you that you can't even confirm with people because he showed you. If you ever want to kill a big dream, try to explain it to a small-minded person, and they'll bring you down. So you don't try. But the big break usually comes after the bad break. And I was talking to Country Boy, and Country Boy, a couple of days ago, a tree fell on his home. Now, we don't have any problems. I'm going to show you a picture of this home. If you're on Facebook, if you're on Zoom, and this is really interesting. Now, if you're on Zoom, you see
Oh
this
my God.
tree that fell on Country Boy's home.
Oh my God.
The tree, mind you, fell uphill, defying gravity. How does a tree fall uphill? Except it be spiritual. The big break comes right after the bad break. And so I was talking to Country Boy, and I was just telling him, you are so near your breakthrough. You are so near your blessing. Stay focused, because the big break comes following the bad break. And a lot of times people will get, distracted, because of circumstances. Another angle. That's a big tree. How does it fall uphill, defying gravity? I said, stay focused. You are getting ready to be blessed. Country Boy, as we all know, is a genius artist. Thousands of pieces that continually are even today flow out of him. Those pieces are going to sell. He is just right there. See, we all are going to come to that place where the enemy gives away, and this is what I was telling him this morning, the enemy gives away your position on the field of faith. When things start happening crazy that don't make sense as spiritual, he is on the inch yard line of faith, on the field of faith, the inch yard line. And the enemy is bringing out the big boys like they do in a natural football game. But check this out. The Holy Ghost, God brings out the big boys who don't even have to be that big, right? And you have Jesus as quarterback, and he's doing a 3 count. And he's saying, up one for the Father, up 2 for the Son, up 3 for the Holy Ghost, hike! And I'm telling you, those angels, those mighty warring angels, I said, Country Boy, you are right there. You're going to be in the end zone doing your dance. Like Billy White Shoe, what's his name? You're going to be doing your dance. The enemy has let you know on the field of faith. So Country Boy said, and you know what else happened? I took stuff out of the house, and there's a shed out back, and I put it in the shed. He said, they broke into the shed and stole everything electronic. They took the air conditioner. They took the 3 TVs. They took the camera that was supposed to be watching to see who's stealing. He said, I said, Country Boy, you would have given that stuff to Goodwill anyway. He said, they took the toaster. He said, who takes a toaster? I said, Country Boy, stay focused. You are right there near your breakthrough. Stay prayerful. Read Psalms 91 out loud, every day. Stay prayerful. You're going and being promoted. This is a promotion to the next level. I said, with the art that you have, the genius art that has not been selling, watch what happens. Suddenly, Country Boy, you're set up for a suddenly, right? But don't get distracted. Don't get distracted by the tree. Nobody got hurt. Praise the Lord. And that's a lot of wood to sell too. Don't be distracted. And so sometimes in our lives, things are going to happen. The Lord told me once, he says, Rick, you have to learn to release things. He said, people hold on so tight to material things. He says, they hold so tight, I can't give them new stuff. He said, as you release, you receive. As you release, you receive. And I was like, wow. He said, people hold on to things so tightly that I can't get anything else in their hands. He said, but if they would just but open their palms and know that I control everything. I give you increase. When you need increase, it's me. Right? And so I just want to remind us all that everybody is going through something. And like Country Boy, as we closed our little call, it's perspective. How do you see the things that you're taking through? It's a
Hey,
perspective.
Rick.
Go right ahead.
Hey, Rick, this for Country Boy. So going through that, I see an opportunity. One, you're in Source 365. You have a vortex. Two, you have art that you can present to those interested and sell at a reasonable price. Attach your vortex link to each sale as a thank you, and there you go. Now words get spread about your great art. Not only that, I got a vortex too. My family just went on this vacation. It stirs up the pot. So this is a great opportunity, like Rick was saying. It just depends on how you look at it. Just readjust, reset, and say, hey, you know what? I just got rid of a whole bunch of old stuff.
That's
I
right.
didn't even have to do it.
That's right.
I didn't have to do it. So out with the old and with the new. This is a great new opportunity.
That's right.
Let me see what happens.
So
Let's see what the Lord will do.
it's perspective. Now, the most interesting thing is, and this is the most interesting thing, when it doesn't make sense, it's spiritual. And the weapons of our warfare, are spiritual in nature. And so, yes, he's a genius artist. And in a natural, real, whatever kind of world, he can sell each piece for 500,000, 2,000, 4,000. They haven't been selling. It doesn't make sense. Just like the vortex. It doesn't make sense for people not to understand the vortex. It's spiritual. And so on this call, with all these heavy duty, iron sharpening iron leaders who understand the spiritual nature of things, come at it with the weapons of our warfare, spiritual. And so that shift, like you're saying, Ed, in the natural doesn't make sense. Why would my art not sell? Why would people not want the vortex? And so now this thing has happened that is really a door to the next level based on his perspective. And that perspective also opens a door for selling his art and selling the vortex, right? It opens a door of favor and grace, right? Anybody on this call, if you're ever going through anything, understand what I just said. To stay focused, and in staying focused and prayerful and praising and worshipful, it opens the door to those natural things. Why? Because you're going to the next level and nothing is going to hold you back. What the enemy tries to do so often is to keep us tethered to the earth by paying attention to natural things and getting caught up in natural things. And the Lord says, release to receive, in the wisdom of God, of course, but release to receive. And so I'm excited for Country Boy and all the things that are happening right now, because everything natural doesn't even matter. And when you have the ability, and the Lord said to me one time, he says, Rick, you don't have to give up everything. You just have to be willing to give up everything. And I was like, okay, I understand. And that's growth, but that's what takes you to the next level. The other thing I'd like to say, Ed, you're doing a great job. Ed and I are working on some projects with the Vortex, and I'm going to put a flyer up. And Ed and I are going to be talking afterwards, so we may have some changes to it, but I'm just going to share. See, our team is totally anointed, right? And doing things the way, how do I practically use the tools of Surge 365? Now, if you're looking at the screen, Ed is working with the Parent Teacher Association. And so we said, okay, let's put up a flyer where we can, even if they don't come on board, they're willing to use Ed's site and to advertise it. And so this is a flyer, Travel for a Cause. We want to raise $15,000. And Ed, something I just put in there was by the end of December. I was going to run that by you. But the district,
That works.
the booking features. Now check this out. Are you kidding me? See, that's why there's a spiritual approach that everybody on this call needs to pray to get. The booking features on the Vortex, a live agent support, multilingual, multi-currency. Are you kidding me? They actually have live agent support on a Vortex if people are booking something, and we're working with the school district. And Ed, I was just thinking about that 20% and how that's actually 20% of the 60%, which is actually a higher percentage than 20%, which is like 33%, but that's okay. That's a good amount.
Rick, if you understand what you have, that's perfectly fine. If you understand how to use it, that's more than perfectly fine. Because there's a system called taxes. There's a system called reward points. There's a numerous amount of ways that it's not even a concern of mine. That's why I can present that. I wanted to go higher, but I figured 20% out of 60. Yeah, I'm not robbing myself. Now, come on, it's a business.
You're not robbing yourself at all.
The 20% to a PTA that receives 10% or less on each fundraiser, and you have a fundraiser that can give them 20% of quarterly earnings because the Vortex doesn't shut down, so it just runs and runs, and you can schedule each donation quarterly, and there you go. And that one quarter, they can accumulate how much they've been able to raise annually on average in one quarter.
It's huge.
When they see that, I mean, that's it.
That's
That's game over.
And that's really about 33%, because if you were saying 20% or 60%, if it's $100, and 60% of that is what we receive, $60, and so you're paying them 20% from the $60. So it's actually about 33%, which is good, because you're also earning the reward credits and so forth. They're just sharing those with you. So we're talking the 3 top earners on the Vortex: accommodations, cruises, and car rentals. And we know there's much more. 3 easy steps to save and to support the cause. They open a free account and at tripsforhope.com. They click the confirmation email. They log in and they book travel. Now, simple, straightforward, right? And I'm going to show you the second, and I sent this to you this morning, Ed. The Vortex Travel Savings website. Now, however they want to use this, I was just playing around this morning. It's a simple shift, right? And so you're talking the PTA, the 20%, the target being 15,000 by the end of the year. It's a great way to save, to give back, and to support. So we know you compare prices and book travel online. We ask that you book through our Savings Vortex. You'll receive the lowest rates and support our school PTA. 3 easy steps to save, same thing. And so what we're doing is we are creatively applying the tool Vortex. We know that hundreds of thousands of dollars can be raised through the Vortex. Millions of dollars can. If Expedia can make $98 billion, people booking online in 2019. People booking online 2023 will hit $1 trillion. The Vortex is nothing more than a tool that there is no upper limit save garnering market share, right? The PTA has what, 500 people, 500 families. You have other organizations, the people that just came on board in the business that have the online billiards company, they have 700 members. They're going to get their Vortex link out to the 700 members and let them know, hey, let this be one of your links that you compare prices. If you can use it, but know that the money that's earned and the reward credits will go into a pot so we can send the winners of our annual thing to the convention every year. And so the 700 people are going to use it. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what we have. And I'm not even talking about the wholesale club membership, with the savings and all the different things that we have through that. I'm not even talking about the travel agency where Ron Clayton hears that I joined and became a Blue Star certified advisor with Scoot Around to have access to, Ron's holding up his Blue Star certification. That's money. That the travel agency is. See, folks, we understand all this, but everybody on this call is going to the next level. Things are going to happen to keep you distracted. Like a bulldog on a bone. Stay focused. Ron, did you have something you wanted to share?
Well, I just want to say, well, thank you to you because we've been talking about, we're talking about services as agents, as owners that we can provide, how we can enhance who we are in the marketplace. And you talked about the billiards company that came on and they had a specific need for special needs. We've talked about, you hear how you can become a special needs specialist. I got to tell you, that's not, you think it might be something, I got to know this, I got to know that. It's simple. First of all, because there's a company that's one of our suppliers called Scootabout. And you looked them up, found out that they had a course, slides and video, you watch it. Then you got to get tested. You got to be willing to take some tests, ABC, and answer the questions. And when you do, you get certified. What's the value of that? Well, when 2,500 locations around the world, we can provide wheelchairs, scootabouts, oxygen, all the special things that someone might need on a cruise or a trip to go to a destination. And this company has representation. By the way, we have on one other service we get with it. They provide for deaf people. Hear me? Deaf people, they have interpreters. So there's a whole group of people that love to travel, but how do they communicate? Well, guess what, folks? We got a tool through this company. When you get certified, they will provide an interpreter wherever your group of people or into couple goes or person that goes on travel. We can provide hearing services. Now, if that isn't being a special needs agent, by the way, Rick, we can put this on our letterhead and our advertising online, the web, internet. We can do it anywhere, and it just gives us certification. And anytime somebody books something, like when we went to Disney and we booked a little getabouts, the scooters, Linda Humphreyville set it up. We had these scooters delivered to our hotel on site in Disney. And we didn't have to go for something. We had to wait for something. It was there when we got to the desk and check in. Used them all week and then turn them in at leaving the trip. Clean deal. Well, we'll Scootabout, we get 10% commission on anything we book for anybody. You know,
Amazing.
people, we just continue to have resources. You know, all of a sudden right now, Linda's taking on, she's on a roll. She's taking seminars to being certified with Holland America, Princess Cruises. Trying to think, she did another one. I think Celebrity the other day. They came up with all kinds of special deals, and Princess just hired their captain of their ship are twin men of the new ship, and the captain's the representative for that ship is remember, if you watch under Below Deck, Captain Sandy and her sister, she's a twin. She's also a cruise captain, and they're connected on Celebrity Cruises. I'll be promoting that this year in their advertising. Linda found that out. She came to bed last night and telling me about it. You know, we have such many ways that we can pick up on new things. Victoria and Kim in Buffalo, when they just got started a short time ago, they've been finding ways, they've been trying to create ways to create some more income. They came up with an idea. I'm holding up a brochure. It's, when you see it, it's beautiful. And what it promotes is Victoria is going to local wedding halls and proposing to the owners that when they're talking to the people that come in to book their wedding reception, that they can relay, like in this case, I'll say Jay's White Elephant, Karen is going to recommend to them to call Victoria to plan their honeymoon.
Wow.
We got a whole brochure all set up just for that.
Wow.
And it enhances the catering place, so it doesn't conflict with it, but it adds a service for them to provide to the people walking the door, and providing because they don't have a travel agent anymore, they got us. And so Victoria's going to be going to, and she has one catering place that's already lined up that's going to use this service.
That's awesome. See,
and we got a couple inserts to put. This folds down, and we got a couple inserts. One is for someone that's on a budget. So we got the budget brand. If you need a 3-day, the middle of the week, or a 2-day getaway because you don't have time and you don't have money, we're giving that as beautiful. This represents putting probably someone want to go into a cruise and go around the world or something, or this one. We also have something that's on a budget.
wow.
So just kind of a neat thing that Victoria and Kim are taking advantage of.
That's awesome. There's so many ways.
Oh,
Go ahead.
hi. Since we're on this page right now, I am looking at an article that came from Vax Vacations. Charisma Hotels and Resorts has become the first hotel group to offer an autism concierge. Our resorts are part of the Autism Double Check program, which means they're fully certified in assisting guests with autism.
Wow.
So many things are moving towards serving the needs of people out here today. And it's so exciting to be in the midst of this with a tool in the hand to do anything that we desire to do in our passion to serve our community. So I was like, kudos to that. That was 3 days ago.
Wow.
I thought that was fantastic, Chantel. I just, again, it gives us such an expansion of being able to provide services to the marketplace. I'm sorry, my front door was open and my neighbors are getting lunch delivered. When we can turn around and say to anybody, what kind of, some people would not even think of traveling because they have autistic children. Well, if you can stand up and you know that about these folks, you can say, you know what, we've got a new program. We have a new destination place that you can take. Most times, we have a gal that's on the board of Foundation of Hope. Hope Collection I'm president of, and she has 2 autistic children. Till this summer, they had never traveled because they always had fear about how was the hotel going to deal with their children. So they didn't go. Now all of a sudden we're opening the doors for how many thousands of families
Wow.
to be able to go. We just expanded our position in the marketplace. We're the only ones we can put that under our umbrella. Now anybody can know about that company, but how many people got the message like you and I got?
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
You
Now,
know, I want to share with you. I have, you know what, my grandson is the child on the poster boards all over Seattle, because he sits in all these meetings and he's been that child since he was. And some of you may not know, I do have Mr. Micah, and he is on the spectrum, and he is absolutely a game changer. She takes this child everywhere she goes because she sits at high level on several boards. And so Mike, you know what Micah's favorite thing to do is? He's like, Mom, let's go stay at the hotel this weekend. This is his thought, because this is what she's living in. She's putting no limits on this child.
nice.
He goes in her phone and picks the location because he can find it. I'm telling you, this child is brilliant. And this is, I'm gonna have her do some an event for us to share the way she has trained. And this is what she does with her gifting in the community. She goes into the school district to make sure that these children have representation, a voice, and the resources they need to function at the high level that they're already sitting in.
Nice.
That they can be the voices that get up on these platforms, because I'm waiting for this too, but we're close. That they're the voices that's going to be speaking to these communities, telling them, this is what we're doing. I'm already a leader. And that we're really close to that right now. So thank you for sharing that. It just brought me to remembering that these things are in place. And so whatever a person's passion, you know, you hear people talking about their passion. Well, that was Tanika's passion when she was a young girl, to serve her sister who had some challenges and some needs. And she just got up as a teenager. I'm going to serve this need. Went out into the community, signed up. She is in a book by the president of the largest union in the country.
Wow.
Because he mentored her to those levels. Okay?
Nice.
A lot of open doors right there. And we're going to get to that. I'm going to partner with her because we've been talking about this for a minute. And it is absolutely off. It's very exciting what she brings to educate the community. Keep her lifted, because she does, she works in 25 schools, sits on at least 3 boards, and doors are still opening. So keep her covered.
Amen. That's awesome.
Yes, that's awesome. Yeah, awesome.
You know, did you have something, Adrian?
No, I just said that's awesome to hear. Wow.
Isn't
You
that
make quite an
something?
impact.
You know, what, like you're saying, Chantel, the secret to success is tying your gift, your passion to your dream and operating in that. And then Surge becomes a tool. The gift that you have, the gift is the thing that you do the absolute best with the least amount of effort. What is that gift that you have, that you do the absolute best you always have with the least amount of effort? Folks are like, wow, how you do that? What is that? If you can tie that to your dream, and then Surge is a tool that allows you to create wealth and income. And and so the normal model is go out there, recruit a lot of people, da 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 da. What we're looking at is not only that, when that happens, but being able to provide something of value, you know, to people, not just the recruiting and making money, but how can I use, you know, the Blue Star advisor, you know, to be able to offer scoot arounds and oxygen and all that to all my clients? How can I use the travel agency? How can I use the Vortex? How can I use the membership? You know, and not only how can I use it, what value is it to people? You know, and just to sit down and have that exercise in your own mind. I mean, because even as you was talking, Chantel, and of course this is just timing, but your daughter's in 25 schools that all need to raise money. You know, and so in looking at, you know, the flyer and the vortex and understanding the power of the vortex. Now, remember though, it's spiritual warfare. So And so it really takes Holy Ghost strategy, you know, not just charging in and saying, hey, I got this great thing. No, but it's prayer and Holy Ghost strategy and getting direction and asking specific questions to get specific answers. See, everybody on this call understands the spiritual nature of the warfare. And in building your business, don't neglect that, because that's the only way you're going to be successful. You know, people will look at the things that Country Boy is growing through as a negative, where I see it as a positive, and that was our talk. That's what we were talking about this morning. You know, there's a blessing and a lesson and a blessing in every adversity. People focus on the adversity instead of what is the lesson, Lord, Father. You know, what is the blessing, and being on the lookout for the blessing. And so they took, they broke in and took your electronic equipment, you know, your air conditioner, even the toaster. But
Hello, Rick.
Go ahead.
You know, me growing up in the household of a peak, you know, of a pastor and being a PK, you can just imagine what the warfare
Wow.
that we dealt with, you know, all our lives.
I can
That's
imagine.
one, you know, after you take so many blows, that's one thing I learned for sure, that what happened with Country Boy, I always, and then a wise man once told me, because he was so calm in the face of disaster, he said, you know what? I asked him, I said, how can you be so calm? He told me, make sure you got your insurance and don't worry about it. It's no big secret. It's no big secret. But what I learned was, when that disaster happens, that means you're getting ready to get something new.
That's true.
It's time for an upgrade. The other part that I saw was, I heard what Ron said and everybody saying about the scooters. But when we just did that ship inspection, and like I said, this inspection was different because we boarded with all of the passengers. And we saw scooters everywhere.
Yeah, they're proliferating.
Everywhere. And so it is definitely a niche in there for, that's one of the certifications I went ahead and got as well. Back to you, Rick.
You know, let me jump in here on this, because, you know, our company has been a company that taught that the boomers were driving everything. Now,
come on.
Look at the day we're in. We are driving this economy. And
it's
you know
true.
what? People are not going to be denied. They're like, okay, if I need a scooter, okay, I'm going to get in the scooter. I'm not sitting in the house, people. Every time I look around, they're like, oh, this is going on in the world. That's going on. They're like, honey, you got your suitcase back? Let's go. You ready to get on the cruise? You know what? We cannot let life contain us, people. We have to live it out. And I was thinking about what you said about, okay, all the stuff that was stolen and all that. But the treasure, that art,
man,
didn't touch that.
That's the truth.
Didn't touch that. Come on now.
Didn't touch it.
Come on now.
Did not touch it. The tree didn't touch it.
That is
the robbers didn't touch it.
Come on. We had another member of our team. I'm telling you, we're at the door of the greatest breakthrough.
It's the truth.
Not just in this company, but in our life, in our generations. They were out moving their house, and they get to their place of storage, and the storage has been broken in, and just stole all the stuff out of there. You know what she did? Started doing her dance. She says, oh, I see you. I am not going to worry about that. We are moving on. We're packing the house to go, and we're out of here. So it's all about the perspective. We've seen a house get emptied. And you know what we said? We got up that morning and prayed. Said, okay, we going to give this over to God. You know what? We're starting over. We get up in there, and what was contained in the houses, I had even talked to some people on this call, and you know, you don't know some of the stuff we got up in here. They were like, well, what are you thinking about that? I said, you know what? We're done with that. We get up in there, and the stuff that what we was just talking about, had not been touched. You hear me? Didn't even have the smell of smoke in it. Is anybody here? We are not going to be contained by stuff, people. The house is filled up right now. Are you hearing me? We left empty. He will give you the stuff, but what is the desire behind the stuff?
Wow.
What are we doing with the stuff to help somebody?
Wow.
Come on now. There are so many more things that we can be concentrating on. And my concentration is on serving people, helping the people realize that you are valued today. You don't have to have a title to be valued. You are valued when you woke up this morning. Do your dance now and celebrate now. Back to you, Rick and Brenda.
You know, things cause movement that you would think are disasters or bad breaks, but they actually, like you said, stir things up to create movement. And like I was telling Country Boy, in the timeline of all the things that are happening, this lets you know that the train is moving out the station. You know, it's causing movement. In the timeline of the field of faith, it lets you know that you're on the inch-yard line, because now you've got movement. Sometimes people get into stagnation in their lives, and there's no movement. But when they've signed, I'm a leader, send me, I'll go. When they've signed that declaration to the Holy Spirit, to our Lord and Savior, you're gonna get movement. Don't be surprised. You know, but it's not unto death, it's just unto movement. You know, you look at Job and all the things that happened to Job, and you know that the end was greater than the beginning. And all the things he went through, and ups and downs, and this and that, and loss, and the end was greater than the beginning. How does that happen except in the spirit? You know, and so we're all paying attention to Country Boy and what's going to happen. And we all, as believers, are going to watch and be so amazed and happy, you know, as God brings him through, his art starts selling, right? Where it couldn't sell before and there was no reason, where he has total breakthrough now, you know, and that's where we're leveraging the things that God brings us through. Lord, okay, open up we can't do anything without him. You know, that's why if a person is trying to build this business in the flesh, I can tell you it's only going to go so far. And you're going to get frustrated and you're going to turn around, and hopefully you stay in place. One thing that's great about our business, you can just use it yourself. But if you want to go to the next level, that's a spiritual door. That's a spiritual door you walk through. And a spiritual door you pray through. A spiritual door you think through. A spiritual door you speak through. To go to the next level, God don't bring you to the next level for you to fall back. You know, as you prepare, you go to the next level to take territory, right? And to keep moving forward, and to take territory, and to take territory. But you're absolutely right, and I was going to show this. The baby boomers. Check out the baby boomers. This is Scoot Around. You see Ron's Blue Star Advisor certification there. The accessible market. Now, this is not my market, but if it pulls me, I'll go. Over 7 million baby boomers. Many of them have mobility limitations. When you got all these retirees that want to cruise, retiring, and they really can't walk, they're going to get them scooters. You're going to have more scooters than people. 23% of Americans have some form of disability. 23 billion spent on travel annually in the accessible travel market. 85% travel with family or friends or caregivers. That this is the fastest growing travel market segment. Why is that? Because the baby boomers are retiring even still, 8 every second. I mean, what is it? What's that stat, Glenn? Every 8 seconds, you got however many.
Yep, 1 every 8 seconds.
1 every 8 seconds. Baby boomers retiring. And then 40% of people with reduced mobility don't travel due to lack of awareness of mobility rental solutions. They don't even know we're certified. They don't even know they can go. I'm telling you, we are in such a great position with the products of Surge 365. You don't have to be afraid to go out and recruit a whole bunch of people. If you can just let people know the value that you bring to the marketplace, and then allow them to make a decision based on the needs that they have, you're going to be walking across that stage of Surge 365 Travemanity. Like Brenda said, somebody booked on her BLR Travemanity website. I was reading this thing last week. If one person can book, 1,000,000 people can book. If you've been
Come
successful
on.
in any one thing, multiply that by 1,000,000 and just repeat that and repeat that and repeat that and refine that. You know, one person can book on Brenda's site, 1,000,000 people without any interference, right? Just because they found the site, can book on the site. Over to you, Brenda.
Wow, I was just sitting here listening. Great information, great information. And that is so true. Like we heard before too, Rick, you said it. If you have achieved $1 million, you can do it again. If you have achieved anything and been successful with anything in your life, you can do it again because you've already done it. So you've proven that it can happen. So whatever you have done in your life, just go ahead and, magnify it, make it bigger, because you did it once, you could do it again. And that's what's so exciting about all the things that are happening. You know, you could do it again. You just have to set your mind to the fact that, hey, I can do this again. And when you realize you could do it again, watch how it just happens over and over and over, because it is the law of attraction. And you know that saying, the rich gets richer because they have more money. So more money comes. So you're rich, so you'll get richer and richer and richer. It's all how you see it and how you look at it. And once you start realizing that, oh yeah, I did that before, I could do that again. You could do it again. And just like you booked one group cruise, you can book another group cruise. You booked a group cruise for a couple, you can book a cruise for a whole family of 250 people going on a family reunion. So you've done it before, you could do it again. And once you find that Pied Piper in the family, that makes it even easier. So whatever you want, you can have it. Write it down, make it plain, and watch it come to pass. So I'm so excited. I'm looking. Anybody else
I
want
was going
to
to
share?
say, even if, like we was talking last week, even if you got a $2.50 commission, you can multiply that again and again and again. You know, whatever amount of money this company has paid you, think about it. You've been successful. You've done something that made money. You use the tool, and you can multiply that. Now that becomes an affirmation, that becomes a prayer, that becomes a law of attraction, where you're talking about, I made 250, I can make even more. If I made 250, I can multiply that same thing that I did to make 250, to make $250, to make $2,500, to make $25,000, to make $250,000, to make $2.5 million. It's just now duplication of that thing that you did to make $2.50. Brenda and I, not making an income statement, but the company has paid us well over $1.5 million plus and counting. How does that even happen? If we did it once, we can do it again and again. I should say it like this. If we did it once, we will do it again and again and again. It was a spiritual door that I went through to do it once. Why would I try to do it through a natural door now? And I always have to back myself up, because I showed through the spiritual door that that's something I can get wisdom on, that I can pray on. The flyer you saw me do for Ed is using wisdom to launch something that can create Ed multiple millions, which it will do. And Ron and Linda the same. with their gift is hospitality and tourism. Can you imagine a beautiful power couple like Ron and Linda who have the gift of hospitality and taking care and serving people and serving others and hosting? Can you imagine them with the tool Surge 365, which is hospitality and tourism? Now that takes their reach global. They will be multi-gazillionaires in this business. See, the light is going to come on, and we are visionaries. And of course, we're ahead of our time. But like Glenn said, we have somebody retiring every 8 seconds. And the baby boomer generation, like Chantel says, is going to drive everything. And we are ahead, waiting and preparing for them. Back to you, Brenda.
Brenda,
that's
this
true.
is Darlene.
Yes.
Back
Hey, honey.
back in April, I booked a cruise with a friend of mine. She has an adult family home, and I'll say she took 6 of them and their caregivers, and her husband went, and they went on the Carnival, went to
Wow.
Mexico. And the other day I got an email from special needs because I had booked the scooters, and one of them needed air and in their room and everything. They took care of all of that. They had everything there for them. And she came back, and it was in April. She came back and she was telling me how they had such a good time, and she didn't worry about her tenants. She just went and did what she was going to do because they had caregivers. So, they had their scooters, and one of them had a wheelchair, and they just had a good time on that cruise. And just the other day, like I was saying, special needs sent me an email because my commission check had gone back to them. And they had sent it to YTB, but I don't know how they got the old address, because they did change their address at one time. But anyway, I gave them the correct address and everything, and I never go in my back office and look and see if if I have a commission, and I just wait until I get a check, because I don't like to look and then get anxious.
Right.
So, but anyway, they had sent the check out to YTB, and I told him it's now Trav Manatee. So he did all that, and I sent him the email to correct us. He wanted to know if he needed to change the check to YTB or to Trav Manatee, or could he leave it as YTB? And so I contacted them, and when I sent him the email to let him know, just go ahead and send that check, he said, "Oh, good, you got in touch with me right in time, because I'm on my way to the post office, to deliver mail." So he was gonna put my check in the mail to Trav Manatee. So it's just things, how things work out, and I hadn't even thought about how long it takes for the commission to come. So I guess everything must be in the rolls now. So I'll be looking pretty good here.
Nice.
You just attract blessings, though, Darlene. Though that's just money chasing you down.
I have a question for you, Darlene. Did you have to go in your back office and put that in as a, what is it called? Where YTB
electronic commission claim.
No, I didn't, because YTB, because what's her name? I forget which one it was. She told me just send it how it was, because they have everything in the making, that anything that comes in as YTB, they can go ahead and work with it being in YTB's name.
Yeah, but how are they going to know that check coming from them, the commission goes to you?
Oh, I put in a commission claim, a claim form.
Okay, that's what I asked.
Yeah, I put in a claim form.
Yeah, good.
Yes.
Right. So you have to put in whatever you do when it comes to travel, you have to make sure you put in a commission claim form. So when the commission is paid to, YTV/Travelmanity, they know that, oh, okay, this goes to Darlene because she had already showed that she had booked this and this money is going to be coming in. But yeah, that's all I wanted to know, that you put a commission claim form in, so you claiming your commission.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
And that's important because you don't get paid.
It is important to remember.
Typically,
Yes.
if you don't put a commission claim form in, electronic commission claim form in, and that is submitted in your RTA back office.
Right. And if you, when you're doing your reservation, that should be like the last step that you do. You finish and as a matter of fact, I'm talking about this. I did something yesterday and I still got to put in the claim form, but it's important to make that your last step. Don't complete it. And when you do that, you've completed everything.
And you have all
go
the
in there and you
information.
put the booking number and when they're traveling and who the clients are.
The date.
Yeah,
and
because
So
that's
you're telling
why
me if I don't do that, I don't get paid?
you
because
don't get
that
paid.
check, I guess
That is true. They don't know where to send the check to.
They
That's
don't know
real.
who
They
to
don't
give
know
it
where to
to.
send the check to.
And
So they just put it in their account.
people have gotten out the business for that. And they don't even know that
Yes,
you're
they have.
supposed to you're supposed to submit an
Right.
electronic commission claim form so they know who gets this money. And
Right.
folks like,
But
they
if you-
didn't pay me.
Yeah, but if you book it on Travmanity, you don't need to put in a claim
Right.
form because you're
Right.
doing it on Travmanity.
yes.
Right.
But if it's anything
Good
other
point.
than through Travmanity,
Good
you
point.
put in a claim form. Whether you think you're going to get a commission or not, you may get a commission.
Yeah. True.
You book a
Right.
travel
Yeah.
on somebody else on Priceline or something like that, and you put it in, they may give you a commission.
That's
So
true.
it's always good to just submit it.
And it is so true. People don't do that one step, and then they don't realize that there are thousands of travel advisors that are with Travmanity, because Travmanity is a host travel agency. And they have signed up people to work with them that did not come through search. That's a whole nother business
That's
over
right.
there. And they get thousands of checks from these different vendors. And the vendors is not saying, oh, this check goes to Joe Brown because he booked with us. No, this check is for X amount of dollars coming to Travmanity. And if Travmanity can't connect the check with Joe Brown, well, they're going to have to just keep it. Oh,
Joe Brown ain't getting paid.
Right.
Hey, Darlene.
So,
Yes.
We had that. We had an interesting thing happen with our church. And me, as a travel advisor, I had to put my hat on because when we came there, they were getting ready to go to the Holy Land, and they had actually, they had started working with a company. And so I got the flyer, and they had about 30 people going to the Holy Land. And something in me just wasn't settling right with that. So I said, you know what? I'm going to call this little company up. And I called them up and I said, well, what is the commission that you're paying over here? What are you giving towards this church for booking all these people through you? They said, oh, we don't pay commission or anything like that. They kept all of that money, and that behooved me, if there's a word.
Yeah.
And I said, that is absolutely ridiculous that you would even think not to give something to this church. But there's people out here like that. So you have to ask them if they are, what is the incentive towards me bringing you 30, 40 people over here?
Now, who was the travel agent setting that up with the church?
This is what I'm talking about.
So they didn't pay the commission because they don't pay commissions to civilians. They pay commissions to partners. And so, of course, as we all know, and I'm just saying, if they're setting up a trip like that for the Holy Land, the first thing they're going to
No, they didn't have a travel agency. They had the guy over our missions department.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So he didn't know to say, I'm a travel agent.
Right. Until we got in there with the pastor, and Glenn opened his eyes. And
then it was too late, though.
Oh, thousands of dollars.
Yeah, it was too late, because if you don't say that, like the first thing, they're like, they play dumb.
Right.
Oh, for real, for real,
Right.
for real.
It almost
I just
happened
wanted
to
to mention
me.
that
I would
because
this
it's real.
company called Vacations to Go, and I had went through it, and I thought I had went through it through um one of our
PTS.
vendors, and I went through there, and then and when we were making the arrangements, and I asked him, and I said, well, what would be the commission? He says, oh, we don't give commission. I said, okay, go ahead and cancel all those arrangements we've just made, because I should have asked that when I first contacted him. But I went through something that I had seen on, I thought it was on Travmanity, but I don't know how I got that company. But I know now Vacations to Go is not good. That's
Well, you
not.
know,
Wow.
everybody pays a commission. It just comes down to who gets it.
He was gonna get it.
That's
The guy
true.
that I was
He
talking
want,
to
he
was gonna
wanted to
get
keep
it.
that
That's right. He
commission.
was going to get it. That's
Now,
right. That's
what
right.
he
was
said
gonna
to
get
you
it.
was true. He said, we don't pay
Yeah.
commission, but he didn't continue it because I'm getting it.
Right.
Right. We don't pay commission to you because
Right.
Because you're not getting my commission though. That's what I
I'm
need
bringing
you to
you
know.
all this business, and I don't get a part of the commission. So I said,
What?
just cancel it, because we had just got into it. Hadn't even, we just started. So I just,
But you made him cry. He was like, oh.
Well, I think there's integrity involved. There's a tremendous amount of
Yeah.
integrity involved,
True.
and following through and knowing that we have companies that are integrity. But yeah, you do have to remind them, and I've got to follow up on one myself. And you just remind me of that. So when I get off the phone, I'm calling Travmanity today. So
It's true. Hey.
Hey, Rick.
Yeah. It's like it's there.
Yes, sir.
Hey, Rick. That's the important part of knowing what you have. And
Yes.
it's just after hearing this conversation, it just made it cemented that that should be automatic whenever you book outside of Transhumanity. Just put in a commissions claim, whether they do it or not, whether they pay it or not, whatever. At least you have the backing of the company to go after your money
That's right.
if it's due, because you put in the claim.
That's
So now
right.
they don't answer to you; they have to answer to Travmanity,
That's
which
right.
is a
That's
bigger
right.
entity. So it's
Right.
kind of hard to tell a giant corporation, no, I'm not going to pay you, when they have paperwork that says, no, you're due this, and
Well,
we
you
have
know
a legal
what's
team that will make
interesting
sure you
though?
do it.
Here's the deal though, Ed. What's interesting is once we become travel advisors and travel agents, we carry that authority. We don't even have to ask Travmanity.
Right.
We walk in that authority as a partner
That's
in
right.
the industry
Absolutely.
where we're not taking
Absolutely.
it. Yeah, we're not even taking no mess. Because we walk in that authority, what happens is people don't know their business. And see, the knowledge that you have in your business will give you the confidence to work your business. People who are not confident in their business it's because they don't know their business. That's one of the things that we want to do on this call is we want everybody to be totally knowledgeable of the surge side of the business and the travel side of the business, the products that we have, the things we can say to people, things we can't. Because if we can raise up a team that's knowledgeable, only because they've taken the effort to put in the extra effort to understand their business. They've gone into the back hall, like Brenda says all the time. They've clicked on things. They've gone into the surge back office. They've gone into the RTA back office. They've created a vortex link for themselves so they can see what the customer sees. And periodically they can compare the vortex price to the Expedia price, to the surge price, to the hotel price. Like you hear Brenda and I talking, the people on this call talking in such confidence because we know our stuff. We know our business, and we know what we have and the value of what we have. And so when people are not confident in their business, the only way to fix that is know your business. And then, of course, we talk about personal development. Being able to be personal and understanding personal development is huge. As a man thinketh, like we were just talking, we talk about some serious stuff. As Ron was saying, as a man thinketh, and what Van Chantel was saying, and what Glenn was saying, and what Ed was saying, Brenda was saying, these are some heavy duty issues that people go to training for, right? The psychological piece, what I shared about Country Boy, the spiritual piece. When all of this comes together, we're raising up an army. Back to you, Brenda.
Wow, that is so true. We are. And I love how we all talk about it. And you figure what happens every time we have this call, it just stirs up, because even Ron's like, hold on a second. I got some stuff I need to go and see see about, for his commission. So that's what makes it really great when we say, okay, hold on a second, let me go and do what I need to do. And that commission claim form, that is the thing. So like Darlene said, every time you finish any type of transaction and they're not booking directly with Travmanity, make sure you put in a commission claim form, because millions of dollars comes into Travmanity, millions of dollars. They are a serious host travel agency. And so they have so much coming in. If your commission claim form doesn't jive with the money, they don't know who to give it to. So they just hold it. And you can't blame them for that, because they have to give it to the right person. But, I'm looking at time, and we do have our presentation this evening. So I want everybody, if you can, jump on. What's great about the business that we're in? There's a plethora of different ways that people do the presentation. So you find what works for the person that you're working for. So Rick and I think we do a nice, professional, quiet presentation. But if you have someone who needs a rah-rah presentation, there's someone doing that also. So Surge 365, we have such a big variety of people doing the presentation and how they're doing it. So find out what works for the person that you're working with, because they might want to say, nice, professional, don't waste my time, give me the meat of it so I can keep going. And that's what we do on Thursday nights. And it's 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So that way, if you're in Eastern Standard Time, it's 9 p.m. And so figure out what time works for you, and definitely join us, because we do the presentation. It's almost like something that we're challenge for ourselves to get it down as short, quick, and sweet as possible, but making sure that you get the meat of it all, making sure that the person who you have invited to watch it gets to understand, and they have the questions, if they have questions, and they're ready to go ahead and get signed up. So we do that on Thursday evenings. And I love this Thursday morning leadership call. You guys are awesome. Like I said at the beginning, you guys are geniuses, you're champions, you're way makers, you're problem solvers. You are the one that people are looking for, because so many people want to change their family's financial future to the better, and we're the ones that have the vehicle. Surge 365, man, there are thousands, millions of people out there looking for us, because they want something. They want to know, how can I do this too, to bring money in? So we need to make sure we keep reaching out to folks, letting them know we're here. If you want to do the travel side, do the travel side, or do both. I think doing both is fun, because that means you're getting checks left and right, and that's what you want. So make sure you get on the call tonight. We try to make it as quick and sweet as possible. And because, we are the most trusted travel team here in Surge 365. And we look forward to seeing everyone on the beaches of the world, the slopes of the world, everywhere around the world. Oh, and definitely remember to pray for those people in Hawaii. Oh, yeah. I mean, that whole island has burnt. That was so sad to watch. And I know, we go back, this is not a spiritual call, but that just popped in my mind. And Hawaii is a big tourism destination. So we want to make sure that when we send people places, they're going to have fun, they're going to be safe. So I just thought about Hawaii. But everyone, look, we look forward to seeing you on the call tonight. Have a great rest of your day.
I'm sorry, Brenda, before we leave, there's a new travel group that has, sent me a invite. And in it, they some of the ladies, they're travel agents, and some of them are asking, you know, about host agencies. I'm not sure whether to answer to them with Trav Manatee or Surge or what. It's just how maybe that's something I can call.
Yeah,
Rick.
no, you answer Trav Manatee.
Okay, and
No Surge.
okay, Trav Manatee. Now, I did give a girl the Surge Pro site. She was a 52-year-old girl, just retired. She said she wanted to retire at 50. She retired at 52, but she wants to do something. She wants to travel. So I did give her Surge Pro. So I'm not sure
And
whether
that's
to give
good.
Trav Manatee into this group or
I would do
Surge
Trav
Pro.
Manatee. If they're looking for travel, I would do
Yeah,
Trav
they're looking for a
Manatee.
host company for their travel.
Yeah, I would do Trav Manatee only. Don't send those folks to Surge Pro.
Okay.
365. You know, that's for the marketing side. And there's a distinct difference between the two.
Okay.
Before, like you're saying, that would be Trav Manatee as a host travel agency.
Yes. Okay.
Only.
Okay.
And see, we do have the question out there also to Trav Manatee. What can we do if we bring people over who wants to have the host travel agency? Because right now, if you go over there not knowing anything about Surge, it's $99 to start up, and it's $49 a month to have them as your host travel agency.
Okay.
So the question is out there, when you send people, will you get any kind of commission? That has not been established yet, but that is how they can become a host travel agent with Trav Manatee.
Like you're saying, Darlene, I will call Trav Manatee and just ask him.
Yeah, that's what I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, just ask them. Because that's one thing that's nice about Trav Manatee. They're still answering their phone. You don't have to put a support ticket in like you do with Surge.
That's true.
So
that is so true.
You get a real person answering the phone.
You get a real person when you call Trav Manatee. So that's very good. Very good.
Yes.
But listen, we want to make sure we be mindful of everyone's time, and definitely jump on the call tonight if you can. Direct people to it. That Surge Pro 365 is still there for people who want to see the presentation. We also have it up on YouTube where you can send people to that link and they can watch it immediately. So we do have a lot of different ways for people to see the presentation out there. But everyone have a great rest of your day. You know, we're the most trusted travel team in Surge 365. And I look forward to seeing you all on the beaches of the world. So everybody have a great day. Bye-bye now.
Thank you.
Have a blessed day.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Goodbye, everyone.
All righty.
Bye.
Bye-bye.